collective. Well, let's do an energy update today. All right, I woke up this morning and I was like, we're getting closer to 8/8. So let's figure out what's going on in the energy today. So I'm only accepting the highest and best truth for the highest and best good of the collective, bringing forth the most accurate answers. Now remember, when I do this, we're looking at the energy for all of us that are watching this video, no matter what your sign is, because once again, astrology is not tarot and tarot is not astrology. We're reading energy. And so we're going to look into the energy of what's going on with the Lion's Gate and the strong energies that have been happening. I have people who have been arguing. I've had sudden truths come out for people. I've had people who've wanted to be in isolation or hermit mode. I've had people who are just coming to big realizations. So however it manifests in your life right now is the way that it's supposed to, because it's opening doors for people. And I've had some people that said, I haven't seen anything just yet. Well, yours may not be as big. So it depends on your soul path and your soul contracts and what you said you were going to do here. Some people chose really difficult, hard things to go through for big soul expansions. This may not be your lesson for right now, or this may not be your thing, but there are people who are going through some big things right now, and I just want to guide you through the energy so you see what it is. So those of you who haven't seen anything yet, your energy just might be smaller, but you're still seeing something. So keep your eyes open and also your intuition open as well. Remember, if this reading does not resonate you, just remember that some of the energies can be reversed. So I might be talking about your people. There's a lot of people in the world. I might be talking about you. Just assign the roles as you please, okay? And whenever you come upon this reading, even if it's a week from now or a month from now, the energy is for you. So those people are like, I don't see anything yet. Give it some time and come back to the video and see later if it is. Sometimes I'll have people that are like, you did a reading for me. I didn't really even, I didn't see anything, and it didn't really totally resonate with me. But then like a week later, everything that you said was exactly playing out as you said. So I went back to the video and I started to, that did happen. And where am I going now, right? So wherever it's going to manifest, it really depends on your astrology makeup, your soul contracts, what you said you were going to do, when you were going to do it, and all of those things. So, and this isn't an individualized reading, so there's no way I could actually be honing in on your specific energy if I'm not doing a specific. I don't do personal readings right now. I have too much going on to do that. But I want to thank everybody who's donated, anybody who's supported the channel in any way by buying things off Amazon, by watching the videos, by watching the ads. I want to thank all the new people that are here, giving this channel a chance. And I have shuffled, so I think I'm ready to see what's going on. All right. Here we go. And if I need to clarify, I will. So I'm going to keep them closed. Okay, here we are here. You, the next step. What's the obstacle, the strength, and the outcome? And the overall energy of this energy right now is one of the best cards you can get, which is the Ace of Pentacles, if you're talking about aces, because that encompasses all of the aces almost. And then you have the Emperor energy and Swords of Truth once again. So more Swords of Truth coming out, more things to be expressed, more things that are hidden that we haven't seen yet. So if you've already gotten those things, like I've already experienced some things in my life, you may be getting more. And if you haven't experienced it yet, you may experience it this week. So let's find out what's going on. I may even do one of these every day, depending, because the energy is so strong. It's like I want to know minute by minute what's going on right now, because it's just up and down. And I mean, right before this, I had shed some tears, right? So, and like I couldn't do readings the other day because my world was just upside down. So I had to figure out what was going on. Where was I? Who am I? Like, who am I right now? Stuff like that. All right. So what are we right now as a collective? What is the energy of us? What are we sitting in? And we're sitting in this, we're in a really good place. That's where we are. So, I feel like this card right here is somebody who knows that what's happening is good for them, and they're ready to kind of take a stand, and they're not necessarily working for it. It's more like all of these are communication. So communication came in, there's more communication being had, It's like the stick of truth. Okay, so now I'm going to put this stick of truth in the ground as well. It's almost like I'm feeling very strongly like some of you guys are speaking your truth, or you're feeling your truth, or somebody is speaking their truth to you. So these can be reversed, right? Because it's a lot of people we're talking about. So, but I do feel like we're in a good position and we're moving in the right direction. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more energy on that because I want to clarify for myself. I'm in this with you guys, right? I want to know what's going on too. You know? All right, let's see. What is a U? Another U card. Okay, so yeah, it's about expressing your truth. So some of us are tired of being left out in the cold, tired of not having a reciprocated love, or a mutual love, or maybe it's called reciprocity in your love. And so because of that, we are standing our truth now, and we're saying, you know what, I've done this for too long. It's time for me now to speak my truth and say what I have catered to you. I have done what you wanted me to do, and now I'm going to stand up and say, this is what I want. I want to stop being left out in the cold. And if you can do that for me, great. And if you can't, well, then I need to go somewhere where I can feel the warm sunshine, where I can feel the Leo sun, right? Because we are still in Leo season. And what are we wanting to do in Leo season? We want to feel the sun, right? Oh, Mr. Sun, sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. It's like that. It's like you're like, I really want this sun to shine down on me. I'm tired of being in the cold. I'm tired of, you not seeing me, or you not is noticing me for who I am. I don't want it anymore. I feel like I'm ready for my world to be upside down, like that. I'm ready to turn this cold feeling upside down, and I'm ready that whatever we need to do. So then what happened is in the you energy, it's also now you're like, okay, well, now that I know this, I want to speak my truth. Now that I know this, I want to express myself. The events are now, because of that, are speeding up, and the blocks that you've seen that were in your life are starting to be lifted. So some of you guys may need to write about it. Maybe you write a letter that never gets sent, or maybe you write a letter that actually gets your thoughts down, so that when you have a conversation with someone, your thoughts are organized, you know what you're saying, and it's not about blame, and it's not about criticizing. It's about speaking your truth. So it's not about you're telling the person maybe in the letter, it's not about you. This is not about you. For once, this is about me and what I need. So it's like you're maybe saying something like that, where, the focus this time is not on you. The focus is on me. Because some of you guys might have somebody that you want to express yourself to, but this person always feels attacked, no matter what you do, no matter what you say. So you're like, okay, I'm going to do the best that I can. So this is the you. Someone is expressing themselves. Someone is saying they don't want to be left out in the cold, and they're standing their truth. They're standing in their power, okay? The next step is actually the Queen of Swords. So we're going to start to see, now that the truth has been said, if you haven't said it yet, once the truth has been said, then you're going to start to see the swords of truth appear. You're going to start to see this queen, although she holds a sword, she's very wise, but she is very loving as well. But she is a queen that's very strong in adversity. She can see the bigger picture. She's very determined. She takes risks, and she's really strong and has big life experiences that helps her see through the murky waters and all of the stuff. So I feel like either this is your intuition, or you have someone in your life that is able to help you walk through this, or maybe you have a couple of people that are able to help you walk through this this experience and show you where the logical truth is. And they're saying also that the next step is to look at it in logic and not through emotion. So this being left out in the cold is an emotional experience. Saying your truth is a logical experience. So when you write the letter, you're writing the letter more in a logical stance. So, okay, so for instance, when I wrote my letter, I did a lot of research on what I wanted to say first before I said it. So I didn't just write my letter based on all my feelings. Now, that is a good technique for release, but I wasn't doing a releasing technique. I was doing speaking my truth technique. And what does my truth look like? And I had to actually, because it was not clear to me what I actually was wanting to say, I had to do some research to figure out the things that were standing out for me. And I go, yes, that is what I need to say. Yes, that is. And I actually took notes about the things that were hidden truths for me, things that I didn't want to look at, things that I didn't want to tell someone, things that I never wanted to say. And so what I did is I just made sure that I wrote those down in a logical manner. And then when I presented my feelings, I did it in a very logical manner. No emotion, no nothing, just, well, maybe a tiny bit of emotion, but not as much emotion as I really felt about those things. It was more like it was almost like delivering a proclamation, like, hear ye, don't shoot the messenger, but hear ye, this is what needs to be said, so that I could open up the door of conversation. So yeah, it's really going to be a logical way of looking at what you are experiencing, what it is that you want, to look at your core beliefs. So for instance, this could be swords of truth, where you're uncovering your core beliefs, your core programming, the things that are subconscious, things that you don't even know, the things like that you react, the way you react, because it's like that. And so you're going to start to uncover things. What is the obstacle in your way? The obstacle in your way is that you or another person is pretty happy with the way things are because they don't have to ruffle the feathers. So they're pretty happy with your stability, They're really happy with the way life is, and they're not really sure that they want to move into a fast-moving energy with these blocks being lifted, because it might be really scary for this person. So the obstacle is that they like how the money has been there. They like how they've been succeeding in this way. They like how it's, you've been really loyal to them and very dependable, and you've protected them, and they love the security that you've built, and how genuine you are and how vulnerable you are. And they like this steady feeling. They like how it's just been steady and long term and very consistent, and so that is the obstacle in the way. I also want to dive into that a little bit more, because I too have questions about that. So yeah. So, you might be the best thing to this person, or the best thing in this person's life. And they're like, yeah, well, as long as you're taking care of me and you're doing the things that you need to do, then, everything's fine. So they don't really want to, because they're happy. They're happy. So it's interesting. Very cool. So let's see. Looking at this. Okay, yeah, they don't really want to move forward. Okay? But moving forward is what's going to save them. They do want to bring you justice, but they do want the 10 of Pentacles. They do want all of this stuff, but there's a comfort. I guess that's what I'm feeling. There's a comfort here. It has helped them be comfortable in life, and once you write that letter, all of a sudden the comfort's not going to be there, and that can be really scary for someone, okay? And it could bring out their toxic ways of dealing with how they deal with things when they feel threatened, or they feel attacked, or they feel like it could bring out the toxicity in this person when you do that. I don't want you to be afraid of that. Just be aware they might be defensive. They might feel attacked. Don't attach to their energy. You just say, okay, yeah, I see that you have those feelings. You know, be more like the Queen of Pentacles, who knows who she is, and say, I understand you're not going to like this. You're not going to like what I have to say. And you're allowed to have your feelings. I'm just not going to attach to what you're doing, but you're allowed to have them. And if they try to use tactics, these may not be conscious tactics, but subconscious tactics of how they've kept you in the past, just be kind of aware of that, you know. Be aware of the things that might come up for them, have nothing to do with you, and sit quiet and be mature and be in your energy and be like, okay, all right, I see this. Okay. You know, don't get angry. And if you want to move through the energy and heal the karmic relationship and heal the wounds, then you're just going to have to hold your own and be ready that they may respond in this way. They may pout. They may be angry. All of those things. And just know that we're going to find out what the strength is first before I tell you, because I feel the energy already, but I don't want to tell you just yet, okay? Okay. The strength is that although they may not be able to see through the storm, you can. So you can hold the lighthouse and not do the work for them, but hold the light so that they can come in your direction. Say the light is over here. They don't see it, but you do see it. So hold the light and say the light is over here. And keep showing them a light. Keep showing them a light. And when they fall back into the devil energy, show them the light. Show them the light. You know, that's if you want to do this. For those people who do not want to do this, that's okay. You don't have to. This is just the energy. You could easily say, look, I'm done. I don't want to do this with you. I'm out of here. Right? You can do that. If that's your truth and that speaks to you, then you can do that. For those of you who are trying to work through this energy, then you would be the one holding the light for this person. And that looks like in many different directions. It doesn't mean that you're holding them and taking care of them. You're saying you shine the light on their behavior. So you can say, I can see why you feel attacked. You may feel attacked because of this and this and this. I was not attacking you. You know? And you may have a really good person that says, I realize that you're not attacking me. It's just what it feels like. You might have that. And then you can say, okay, now let's explore why you feel like you're being attacked. Has nothing to do with me or what I said. Why you feel attacked is because of these reasons. Okay? Now, the future outcome is that if you do choose to go in this direction, it's going to take work. It's going to take work. And so it could be you guys dive into the belief systems that created this thing. So one of the things that I did in particular, and I haven't started it yet, but one of the things that I'm doing is I bought a notebook, because I bought 2 books. 2 workbooks that I'm going to work on myself. One, I'm going to work with the person I'm doing this with. We're going to do a workbook, and I'm not going to be doing the workbook for that person. I'm going to just do the workbook. That person can choose to do their own work. But I at least showed them, hey, this is what I'm going to do. You're welcome to do it if you want to do it. If you don't, that's okay too. I'm going to heal. And so I'll give you a little bit of direction. Like, I'm specifically said, I'm going to heal because I don't want to come back in another lifetime and have to live this experience all over again. Now, the person I'm talking to did not create the experience. The experience was created in childhood, but I don't want to attract anybody else if I decide, okay, so how do I want to put this? If I decide to move on, I don't want to attract anybody else with my injury. So I want to heal my injury so that I can be mature and healed before either this person stays in my life or then, maybe there'd be a transition. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like, because for me, all I care about right now is healing myself. That's it. I just care about healing that, because I don't want to, 1, come back and have to live another lifetime like that, with that karma. This is my karma. This is my lesson. This is my big life lesson. And if I don't learn it, then I know that I'm coming back with it next time. And if I learn it, then I know that I have huge soul growth. And I don't have to have that pain anymore. I don't have to go through that suffering anymore. So I can give you a link to this in the description box down below of what I chose to get. I chose to get an inner child workbook, although I've done a lot of inner child work. I've done a ton of inner child work. I feel like I need a little bit more direction and a little bit more, where's that card? Logic in this situation. I've done a lot of emotional healing and a lot of emotional work, but I think I need to uncover some things that I have not uncovered yet. And so it's going to take logic for me to do that, and I want to do it very logical with a book that kind of walks me step by step on how to do it. So that was a very interesting read. Wow, I don't know if I'm going to post this one, to be honest. I feel like it's really personal, but hopefully it does help some of you guys. If it helps any of you guys at all, that would be great. Let's get some advice cards. Because here's the thing, if you don't heal your wounds, you're just going to find another person with the same wound with a different face. So that's why I'm so into making sure that this gets healed. Making sure that I don't do that again. I don't want to find the same exact person with another face. There's, it's like, I want to have the person that's meant for me without any injuries for me. Like, I don't want any more injuries. So I have a lot of narcissistic wounds. I'm not narcissistic, but I have the wounds because I grew up with a parent that was covert and grandiose. So both. So I have a bunch of wounds I need to heal in order for, and that was the sword of truth that came out, is that I have wounds that need to heal. And I'm okay with healing stuff. I'm okay with that because I know what it's going to do. So it's time to give rather than take. And I have a feeling that this is for one of you guys. One of you guys is giving too much, and one of you guys is taking too much. So it's time to give rather than take. For the person who's been taking too much, it's time for you to give now. So this is all about equal give and take. It's about reciprocity. It's about mutualism. It's about equal give and, I already said that, equal give and take. It's about a mutual relationship. And that, I think, is what the whole soulmate cycle is about. So whether this is a lover or this is everybody that you attract around you, because what I told my person is I have to heal this injury because otherwise everybody I attract, or not everybody I attract, but I'm going to continue to attract people in my career, in my my friendships, in my love life. I'm going to continue to attract people that resonate with my wounds. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. The wounds weren't mine to carry. I was a child, and they're not my wounds. And I adopted those wounds, or I got wounds from a wounded person, but I can heal those wounds. They weren't originally my wounds. So there is a win-win outcome for this forecast for those of you guys who are wanting to know. And it is time for you to take action on this issue. So for those of you guys who have taken action on many issues in your relationships, this is such a huge one. And this, for me, is the one that encompasses all of my injuries, all of the things that I have been working on up until this point. I feel like this is the core issue. This is the one that will solve all the other problems. And so that you are aware, the wounds of narcissism are not just mine. They are running rampant on the planet. There are a lot of people who have these wounds. They have been wounded by people who are narcissistic, and so it's like a whole generation of us are having to heal from these wounds. Sometimes narcissistic people that have wounded other people, those people that have been wounded, sometimes those wounds get so big that they turn into narcissists themselves. Not everybody who's been wounded by a narcissist is a narcissist. There actually could be codependent people They're codependent on two different sides, which I've learned. So those people who don't know, and codependency takes two different forms. Codependency, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, so you can take a look at all of it, but codependency is not just with alcohol and drugs. It's where it was coined, the term, but they realize that it's actually a mental health issue in a lot of relationships. And so basically there is a person who never received love, that once they get love, they are so excited to have it that they take, and they never think about giving love in return, because it feels so good to get it because they never got it. So they just take. And they may use some narcissistic traits. It doesn't mean they're a narcissist. It means they may use narcissistic traits in order to control the situation so that they can continue to get love. And on the other hand, you have another person who gives in hope that if they rescue someone, that someone will come and rescue them. But if you're in a codependent relationship where you have a taker and a giver, then what happens is that the taker never gives to the rescuer, never gives to that person. Not because they don't want to, it's just they've fallen into this survival technique. They've fallen into this it's just a different what do you call it, way that they've learned to manage their wounds, and they didn't mean to hurt the other person, and the other person never meant to hurt themselves. So yeah, that's just a huge thing when they're talking about giving and taking. That's what I'm hearing, that's what I'm feeling. I'm not saying that all of you guys have codependency issues, not at all, but if this resonates with you, then you can do a lot of research on YouTube about codependency. It's all out there. Just try not to get so stuck into ones that are only talking about alcoholism. That happened to me, and I'm like, that's not my real situation. Because addictions can be linked to codependency, but not all addictions are the same. You have addictions that are people eat too much. People may be substance addicted. They could be addicted to porn. They could be addicted to gambling. They could be codependency. They both could actually, the addiction is actually to the love. One person has the addiction to the love they receive, and the other person has an addiction to making the other person happy. And their happiness ends up being dependent on, that's why I called it codependent. Their happiness ends up being dependent on whether or not the taker is happy. So it's a very interesting wound to be looking at and to heal for those of you who need to do that. For those of you who have a love situation, let's figure out what's going on with that, and I'll close out the video. And then I'll check in with you tomorrow to see how this is going with you. And remember, codependency does not have to be with a lover. It could be with a parent. It could be with children. It could be with your friends. It could be everywhere. And this relationship doesn't have to be with a lover. It could be with a friendship. It could be with a boss. It could be anyone that's showing up in your life where you're not feeling like you are getting the love you deserved, or the love that you dish out, equal give and take. You might be getting some love, but maybe you're like, look at what you have and how happy you are, and I want some of that too, All right, so yes, this is definitely a soulmate thing, and I remember that I said that it's very interesting. Yeah, this is a soulmate thing, and for the soulmate cycle, so I think I'm going to go ahead and label it that, but soulmate can be anyone. Anybody in your existence can be a soulmate. Doesn't have to be a lover. For those of you guys who I'm happily married, I don't have anything like that. Well, take a look at your other relationships. Who's leaving you out in the cold? Who are you giving too much love to that you're not getting love in return? And it's ask for support from others. So you may need support from a counselor. You may need support from people maybe who've gone through something like this. You may need support from YouTube. There's lots of mental health professionals on YouTube that you can take a look at. YouTube is YouTube University. If you don't know how to do something, you can actually get a really great education on YouTube. So keep an open mind about the situation. If the person is willing to heal, keep an open mind. If the person is super toxic and they won't heal at all, maybe the door needs to be closed, and maybe you don't need to have an open mind, right? Maybe you've given too much to the relationship. However, if the person is like, you can feel that there is a want or a need or desire, and it doesn't have to be huge because they may not have a huge desire if they're feeling attacked or defensive. But if there's a little bit of desire in there, and you're like, okay, well, let's see where this is going to go. Don't automatically go, well, I need to shut this door completely, unless you know for sure that this person is not interested in healing in any way. Here's the thing, though, it's going to take a lot of heart-to-heart conversations. And because right now, what's happening in this relationship, there's not enough chemistry to keep it going on. To keep me hanging on, right? Set me free, why don't you, baby? Get out of my life, why don't you, baby? So, if you don't really love me, you just keep me hanging on, right? So there's not enough chemistry for this relationship to go on in the way that it is right now. Will you have chemistry? There is hope, because they said there is a win-win situation on the horizon. There is hope. Because we know that this is a karmic lesson, and the karmic lesson is yours, and the karmic lesson is theirs. If both of you choose to heal the karmic lesson because you do not want to come back and have to live this pain all over again, then both of you will have the opportunity to have a win-win in the situation. Whether you stay together or you don't, at least there will be healing on both sides. At least both of you guys will be able to have chemistry again in a relationship, in your relationship or a relationship. So this is really, really awesome, is to know that the way that it is going right now, with you being left out in the cold, there is not enough chemistry to keep this relationship going on forever. No matter how friendly you are together, no matter how wonderful you can be friendship-wise, if the deep chemistry is not there because there's wounds that need to be healed, then the relationship will not last. The universe is saying it will not last in the way that it is right now. Unless we have some healing of wounds, then it can get better. So that's very, very good. I hope that you guys like this reading. If you're entertained it in some way, then go ahead and like this video and subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you get notified as soon as I post something new. You guys have a great day. Bye.